welcome back again. What were we doing today, King? Wasn't it stories? But what kind of stories?
Yep. It's spooky time.
Might as well. It is the weekend of Hallows Eve. I'll be going myself to a little bit of a party. Who knows? Maybe I'll see something spooky. Or maybe I'll see something that adds up to a conspiracy. Or maybe a theory.
Who knows?
Well, it's always more than you believe, is it not?
Well, what perfect time for creatures to, be normal during a time that's not normal.
We have 5 stories set up for today's little video. See what we find out upon these lovely stories. Will they just be maybe part of a conspiracy? Maybe just a theory? Or will it be more than you believe? Shall we begin? I think we shall. Oh, sorry. I know I gotta get a camera guy one of these days, or at least figure out how to use the camera more effectively. Okay, the first story is titled, "It Wasn't a Little Girl." That sounds just creepy as a title.
Kids plus ghost equals terrifying.
That is the only thing that I really don't look forward to as a kid ghost, if I ever run across. By the way, I pulled a King pulled a Farnsworth. I have a thing longer now. If anybody gets the joke. I hope somebody at least gets the joke. It's, Okay.
Good news, everyone. Now they should get it.
It was camping. Bollocks. Jeez. I was camping with my husband and his family at a small remote lake in New Mexico. There was about 10 people in our group and another group of 6 people in the next campsite. It was nighttime and both groups were doing typical activities. This is almost too long for me. I got too used to my other stick. I gotta just step back a little bit. Wow.
Who can't handle big sticks?
Where's my bonk stick? You dick. Wow. Making s'mores, having a few drinks, telling stories, when we all heard what sounded like a little girl yelling out for help. Neither group had children with them, but we were all positive we were hearing a little girl and decided to search the area. We heard the noises is that a typo? We heard the noises from together? That just doesn't sound... Okay, I can't handle this damn thing. I like the thing longer, but I think for more important stuff, for now I'm going back to the marshmallow. Yes, I'm going back to the marshmallow. There was a field behind our campsites, and we all saw a little trail. Pure white figure standing maybe 100 feet away from us in a field. How scary. I wouldn't lie. That would be kind of creepy to see. Making the noises. We all agreed this thing looked maybe 6 feet tall, skinny, and white as can be. We made our way closer to investigate, but whatever it was that we saw started backing off as we got closer, and it disappeared into the trees. All night we continued to hear a little girl crying for help as we tried to sleep. Ugh, eerie. Very eerie. What the hell is that? Is that a wand?
What? Yes.
He's going to try to use Expelliarmus on me.
No. I'm just holding it upside down, look like a pointer.
Oh. How creepy, though. Ooh, that would suck to hear that. Trying to sleep, and all you hear is a little girl crying for help.
Those are type of ghosts that actually lure. The thing is, if it was one person, it would lure them deeper into the forest. But since it was a group,
you're talking about a skinwalker.
Or wraith. They like to act like children, scream, but they don't attack in groups. They don't attack groups. They only attack like 1 or 2 people.
I should
But since it
maybe
was a
move the
group,
camera back a little bit. Hold on. Sorry, people. 1 moment. Just moving the camera a little bit back. Okay. The next story we have is, if I can grab it. Okay. The next
The
story
Walking
is
Dead.
The
Not that
Walking
show.
Dead. Yeah, it's not The Walking Dead, but that's the title. Well, let's see what they say about this. I'm a psychiatric nurse, and early in my career, I worked at a residential mental health facility. One of our residents was an elective mute. Not electric, elective. So
That means they chose to stay quiet.
which means that couldn't talk, but there were no medical reasons as to why. It's almost like a monk. The oath of silence. He had spoken early in his life and in fact seemed quite normal back then, with the exemption of being closer to 7 feet tall. He'd been raised in a deep south and joined the military when he was 19, but one night he vanished. He was declared
AWOL.
And eventually he was declared missing and dead. 10 years later, 7-foot-tall man walked into a VA hospital emergency room in my part of the Midwest and said to be
Said to the receptionist.
Oh, receptionist. Oh, sorry. Hey, I can't think like that sometimes. My mind goes work the word out in your mind. My name is Marion Duchin, not the real name, but I've been dead for 10 years. Those were my last words he ever spoke. He was covered with dust, and he was wearing the same clothes he had been reported to be wearing the night of his vanishing. Oh, wow. I wonder what this guy saw. His social security number had not been used, and he had no identification on his person. However, they were able to identify him, I guess, via fingerprints. Well, yeah, because your fingerprint is literally like another ID point for you. The family was notified, but they said that they had already grieved their lost man, and that whoever was claiming to be him simply couldn't be. They demanded not to be contacted again. Oh boy, that would be a crazy thing. Somebody disappear for a set. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. It's like, what if he went through a wormhole? We'll theorize about that in a minute. He was covered with dust and
You're on this paragraph.
Yeah, I noticed. Bunk.
Don't worry, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't even hold marshmallows.
No, it doesn't. Not like this. Beep. Marshmallow. Okay.
But I can do that.
Marion paced all day, every day, moving his mouth that looked like talking or muttering, but no sound came out. He had an unnerving habit of throwing his head back with his mouth wide open as if he were laughing heartily.
A hearty laugh.
Wait, are you just gonna just be correcting me the whole time, Fuzzy Butt?
Yes.
But
I am the grammar police wizard.
Okay, but not even a breath could be heard if I talked to him. He approached to listen. He appeared to listen periodically throughout. Throwing his head back in that laughing manner, way of mimicking.
Laughter mimicking way of his.
You're going to read the next story.
Why not?
Yeah, you're going to read the next story. Hopefully you don't drift when you're reading the next story.
Can we all agree? Controller drift sucks.
Oh, yeah, it does. It doesn't matter what game you're on. It doesn't matter if you're in VR or if you're on console. It sucks regardless. Various medications were tried, but they didn't have any effect on him, either positively or negatively, so no effect at all, eh? Occupational therapy did nothing because Marin could just grin and useless told us to stay put. He'd get up and start pacing again. Dude, this actually almost sounds like what if this guy suffered like a unique brain aneurysm and just killed him off and then all of a sudden just came back.
Some
On
people
my
just go silent after going nuts.
Or maybe he saw something that made him go nuts. On my last day at the job, the last thing I saw was Marion pacing in the parking lot, throwing his head back to laugh. Later, I wondered if all along I'd been dealing with a ghost. All these years later, I still don't know. The way
Still
it
don't know.
describes, I mean, 10 years? And, like, they actually, like, did a verification fingerprint? Ghosts don't have verification fingerprints like that.
Well, even if
Something
you're
else.
dead and you have your skin, your fingerprints are still there.
True. But still, I mean,
You can even get dental records nowadays.
that's still creepy, though. That actually was a bit of a creepy story, I'm not going to lie.
What's creepy is the fact that he was covered in dust and still wearing the same clothing.
Of the day of his disappearance. Hey, King, here's your first ever notion. Yay, have fun. The
I got
unrest
the
stop.
unrest stop. Oh God!
Sounds like they stopped
Stop
off
it.
at a truck stop.
Instead of a 7-Eleven, it's 7 Hell.
Or it's Freddy's. Who knows? All right. So I normally stand here.
Let me just.
Of course, you're just like, I'm gonna make that bigger. Okay.
All right. My turn to read.
For once.
And there goes the drift.
Okay then.
I was driving across country with my mom and sister when I was 16, and my sister was 20. It was late, but we were well rested and still alert. And we were driving along an interstate and needed gas and a bathroom break. Normal. So we stopped at the only rest stop in 200 miles. Really?
Hey, some places are like that, dude. Have you ever been through Nebraska or Kansas? Yeah.
There was
They
a
exist.
van full of teenagers on a road trip at the gas station, as well as a small gray parked at the pump in front of us, with two young men standing still outside of it. Sounds normal to me so far.
Yeah, so far.
When we got there, everything felt wrong. We've been on the wrong road for days and seen many rest stops at night and never been afraid until then. My mom and sister went inside and I stayed in the car. I heard teenagers say they were creeped out and couldn't get the pump to work.
I've been there before. No, I've been there.
And they left in a hurry. I was watching the car in front of us, and the two men had not moved at all, not an inch. They weren't talking, they weren't on phones, they were just standing there, still as stone.
Weird.
Maybe the mannequins.
Maybe they were dead.
My sister and mom came running back out to the car. When they got in, the two men slowly turned to look at us, while not moving or pivoting the rest of their bodies, and I swear to fucking shit, we all saw the same thing. They had dark eyes dark and pitch as empty, truly empty, not black, not reflecting any light at all, just the void. Ugh, I've seen that in personal. It's terrifying.
Indeed. A lot of people don't understand the eyes of death.
No, the void. The void. I've seen the dark void. It's not pretty.
Like I said, the eyes of death.
No, that's the realm. We sped out of there and didn't stop until we were there in the next city. The worst thing about the entire experience, we couldn't find the place on any map. We knew exactly which spot on the interstate to look, and we couldn't find it on Google Maps or any paper map we had. We even asked locals about the creepy gas station out on that stretch of road. We only got confused looks. We traveled on that interstate since, and there is no rest stop.
They must have went through one of those
Time
rifts. Yeah.
Mirror dimensional rip that happens on roads.
Which are real. Sometimes you don't even know you went through one. All right, here
Exactly. If you're going on a road that looks like nothing, sometimes it could be like a wormhole. You'll get to your location faster. Other seconds, it could take months, and you'll never know.
Yep. All right, here we go. It came for us in the graveyard. Oh, this is gonna be a good one. Who's ready? I know I am.
Who goes in the graveyard to mess around? No.
Dumb people.
True.
Okay. We were driving my friend's really old, beat-up Subaru through the massive graveyard. Wow, must have been quite the graveyard.
There are huge ones in this world.
Oh yeah, I mean Arlington is one of the biggest, but there are other ones with almost bigger than Arlington. But yeah. Stopped and walked down a hill and came across a little pond. There was someone sitting on a rock on the other side of the pond. The figure was all black, and we couldn't make out any features other than the fact it could look like a man who was wearing some old-style top hat. I'm not saying that's too abnormal, but at the same time, that is a little abnormal.
You have a top hat right here. A gray top hat.
No. That one plays music, remember? That's not a top hat, that is a fedora. Did you just delete that?
No, I returned it back to its point.
Oh, no, it's because I got that from Blaze, and it plays a little jazzy tune when you put it on. I just don't want to put it on because I'm live.
Copyright! Copyright! Gotta love that. That's the true terror of this world.
Yeah, that goes against our First Amendment. That goes, dude, like, copyright.
We know.
Beast, do something about
money
it.
Talks, bullshit works.
We stupidly waved and shouted hi. Oh, that's smart. We didn't show any acknowledgement and continued sitting still on the rock. All of a sudden, he jumped to his feet, started running to us on the water. Oh boy. And then vanished in vanished in the thin water about halfway on the pond. My friend and I screamed and ran back to the car. Who wouldn't? Jeez.
Bruh.
That'd be pretty sketchy. The car wouldn't start. Oh, the car wouldn't start. This sounds like the beginning of a horror movie.
Wait.
What?
Didn't say they ever stopped the car.
Yeah. We stopped and walked down a hill.
Okay.
And
car wouldn't start.
And we had something banging on the back of the car. Oh, jeez. It wasn't a constant bang, but every few seconds or so we'd hear it. Nobody was outside from what we could see in the dark, but something was making a noise on the car. I opened my phone and started dialing my mom to come give us a boost. But I had no service, and none of us had any cell service. The next 30 minutes were spent trying to get her car to start. What is that noise? Waylon, don't freak me out like that, dog. Sorry.
Reading spooky stories, dogs scare you.
It's just, I've got a tiny story at the very end of this that reminded me of something. So, okay. None of us had cell service. Next 30 minutes. No banging was heard afterwards, but we felt this heavy pressure around us. Ooh, I hate that feeling.
Scared shitless.
Well, no, like, it's the feeling of you're alone, but at the same time, you're You know what feeling I'm talking about.
Yes.
Why did my door move? Okay, just breathe. Finally, the car started and she hit the pedal to the metal wall. You can only imagine. Get out! Okay, we sped out the graveside, out of the graveyard so fast, immediately crossing the gates. All of our phones regained cell service. One thing I know for certain is that someone or something was out there, and it was not an animal or a human. I wonder.
It was the ghost keeper.
Does that description match anything that you've heard before? Because I almost am wondering about that. All black.
The ghost keeper.
And a top hat. Wouldn't
the ghost keeper?
The ghost keeper. We're gonna have to look into that one. But the reason why, so this
it's a keeper. That's why he was at the pond. What is a pond reflection?
Reflection to the other, reflection to the other world. Alongside how, why do you think people hate mirrors? Because if you, by the way, if you ever see a mirror in the middle
not
of
in VR chat, people love freaking mirrors.
No,
like a moth.
What I was about to say, if you ever see a mirror in the middle of the forest, get the hell away from it. 1, 2, do not go through it. 3, get out. Because you...
And don't break it either.
No, you break it, that's even worse. That's even worse than anything. Also, if you see a pair of stairs in the middle of the forest too, do not go up them.
Don't touch them. They're literally gateways.
Well, like, it's not that you don't touch them. It's more of, if you go up, you can't even... You're coming back down something else.
They're gateways.
Well, yeah. But the story I was going to say before we read this story was, so my oldest brother in my home state, we've got the 3 tunnels, the 3 scary tunnels that actually have ghosts in them. And my oldest brother went through them, and he to this day he still remembers it, where they literally honked the horn 3 times in the 3rd tunnel to cause the ghost to come forward, and all of a sudden they had a bunch of, like, it wasn't a lot of banging, but it was just like, they started seeing stuff. And the creepiest piece of this all was, originally there was no extra handprints on the outside of the car. It was a large number of children's handprints, because technically a busload of kids died in this area.
Ooh, that's spooky.
Oh, yeah.
They forgot to thank the battle bus.
Shut up. Okay. It was good to see an old friend. Oh, I can only tell where this is going to go. I can only tell. Good to see an old friend. That kind of means maybe somebody passed away or something and they didn't know. Here we go. When I was 37, I went to my high school reunion. I flew into the nearest airport and rented a car. The distance was about 35 miles through a very rural. I can't speak that sometimes. An almost abandoned part of the country. About 3 miles outside of the town, I see someone on the side of the road, flagging me down. It turned out that it was one of the guys I had attendant school with. His name was Jim, not his name, so of course they're not going to give the real name. Gets in the car and we start talking. I had not seen him in 20 years. Damn. Actually, come to think about that, there's some people I haven't seen in about a decade. Oh wait, isn't my school reunion? Oh, that's next year. Yeah, I have my 10-year is next year for my high school reunion. Oh, I'm old. Moving on.
You're talking to old.
I'm sorry. Okay. But he, 20 years, but he still looked the same. Maybe a little older. We got to the town and I asked him if he wants to come to the VFW and have a drink. He said, no, just take me home. Jim's parents had lived on a few blocks from my grandparents' house, and I turned in that direction, but he said to take him to the outskirts of town. There was a mobile home park out there, and I figured that is where he lived. When we reached the end of the turn off the road, he said, just drop me here. It was good to see you again. And he walks off into the night. Oh.
Oh,
Car accident.
that
Think about it.
ghost.
He looks
A
the
ghost
same.
hitchhiker.
He looks the same. The guy hasn't aged much. And
One
drop
moment.
me off on the outskirts of town. I guess while we wait for King to get back, I think he's taking care of something. Man, these stories. Could you imagine? I don't think he intentionally meant to pet the dragon. If you're hearing that purring, the dragon is purring because King set his controllers down wherever he set them, and it's apparently petting the dragon. So, if you're wondering what that purring is, oh boy, I gotta wait a minute. Man, creepy though. Some of these stories, it makes you think on things when it comes to certain. We don't truly know how things work after we die at times, because it's too complex for us to truly know the truth. How loud is that damn thing gonna purr? I'm sorry, I can't keep a serious face with that thing purring right now. Just the way that King. Yeah, okay, I gotta show this. Hold on, okay. This is how he felt. This is how he set his controller down. It's petting the dragon. Yeah. King, come on back soon. He's not even that close to the dragon. Oh my gosh, that was great. I had to get that on camera. You were petting the dragon. For however long you were gone. What was that? A few minutes? Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
petting the dragon AFK.
Yes.
Was it purring the whole time?
Yes. I'm gonna give it a cookie. Okay. Gave him a cookie. Okay. Here we go. Let's see what happened with the rest of this story and see if it gets creepier. I go to the VFW, met some of my old classmates. We started to talk, as we were talking about who is coming to the reunion. I mentioned that I had just picked up Jim up 3 miles east of the town and dropped him off. Everyone gets quiet. Ooh. This is gonna
Even
be
the
something.
guy singing?
Even the guy singing goes quiet. Well then. Even the guy singing karaoke stops, lays down the mic. My cousin goes white as a new t-shirt. Dude. Barb.
Bart.
Jim. Oh.
Yeah, Bart.
Yeah, Barb. Jim died on that curve 8 years ago. Dude. Rolling his car.
Rolled his car.
We were all at his funeral. I was told. I started to feel really dizzy. I went out to the car to take some deep breaths. There on the seat is the local newspaper printed 8 years ago previous, containing Jim's obituary. I still have the paper. Dude! I don't know what I would do with that. Woo! Dude, that's... Wow, okay. That was heavy. I'm not gonna
Someone
lie.
take Reddit away from me. I can't stop reading these ghost stories.
Still, I mean,
You do know
just-
that does happen.
oh,
That's what you call a spirit fair.
oh my gosh, dude, like that is just creepy. That last one was good. That last one was.
There's actually a
really
game
good.
called that, Spirit Fair.
Hmm.
Kind of sad.
Oh,
It's a good game, but it's sad. Because
yeah.
you are literally the new, what's the dude, the River Styx dude? That dude. Your job
The
is
ferry
to...
way, the ferry.
Yeah, the ferryman. Yep, literally.
I hope everybody enjoyed this lovely time of telling some lovely ghost stories for Hallows Eve weekend. Please, feel free. Well, we might do more of these. I'm not gonna lie. I might actually do more on ghost stories. I'm also gonna probably look into some more. I hate to say it, but more demon stories too, not just ghosts.
Spooky.
Oh yeah, and not because of Halloween, but that's a little trend I will be starting as well. So we'll be reading plenty of those. So. But what do you think? Do you think that these stories are just some made up thing of maybe just a conspiracy, maybe just a theory? Or is it more than you believe? Catch you on the next one. Should be a doozy. Take care now.